Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of the Disney Library, where once a week I take you into my collection of Disney books and share some tidbits and some of my favorite parts of each of these books that I've collected over the last several years. Today is Monday, May 6th, and I just got back from 5 wonderful days in Aruba. This was not a Disney vacation or a Disney themed vacation in any way, but the beauty of Aruba and the tranquility of the island and the rich colors of the water really got me thinking about one Disney film in particular, and that is, of course, Moana. And so this is the book we will be talking about today because I am celebrating all things sea and ocean. I have my Disney Cruise Line shirt on that I picked up on the Disney Fantasy when we were on the Disney Fantasy in 2017. Hard to believe it's been 2 years since my Disney cruise experience. Certainly high up on the list to book another one in the near future. But Moana, to me, the beauty of the film and just the colors and the richness of the animation certainly was top of mind this past week when I was in Aruba. And so the Art of Moana, I talked about this series of books on my recent podcast that I did with Brendan and Catherine on Detour to Neverland, where I talked about the art of, insert movie title here, and I talked about the art of Coco. They basically release one of these art of books with every new animated release, and I have just a few in my library right now, and I of course plan to add to it. This particular one, though, by Jessica Julius and Maggie Malone, both work in Disney's Creative Arts Group. The preface is by John Lasseter. Of course, we all know who Mr. Lasseter is. And the foreword has been written by Ron Clements and John Musker, who, of course, were the co-directors of the film. But I wanted to share just a few tidbits of the book here. Again, the cool thing about these books is it's not just about drawings and things like that. It really takes you behind the scenes of the story itself. And, one of the cool things here is, a real interesting write-up on the island of Motunui, which of course is the home of Moana and where Moana's family and all the villagers live. Moana is of course a fictional island, but they really wanted to do justice to it and make it seem as real as possible. So they give you the backstory about what Motunui is. There's a map of it that details where each of the key locations of the island is, and so I thought that was a pretty cool section. The other one here that I thought was interesting was the different concept art for some of Moana's outfits here. Obviously, we all remember her iconic dresses that she wears with the vibrant orange colors, but here were some of the other sketches of the type of dresses they had Moana trying out here. This part I thought was really cool, which was again, here are some of the designs of the different vessels and boats Moana eventually would sail on. The one right here is the one that was the final design, but you can see some of the initial designs of the types of boats here. This I thought was really cool, and this whole section here is dedicated to Maui, and there's an initial look at some of the initial concept art or art for what they thought Maui should look like. And then if you flip it a couple pages, it actually shows you some more designs of what Maui was initially supposed to look like. I mean, a lot different from the Dwayne Johnson voiced character that we eventually got with the movie itself. But again, flipping through, I mean, this looks a little closer to what we got in the movie, but not quite. Again, no hair, which, would probably work for Maui because Dwayne Johnson doesn't have any hair himself. But then eventually, again, continuing to flip through here, you get the final product of what Maui eventually does end up looking like in the film. So it's just interesting to see the progression of how he goes from, a conceptual character with all different prototypes. Again, even this one here, not totally different from what we see in the film, but a little different. So then you see all the different forms of Maui before we see his final state. This I thought was pretty cool here. Again, it just has the drawings of the different animals or creatures that Maui the shapeshifter, as this section is called, that he transforms into. And then, the last thing I'll point out again, this is just a rich book full of all kinds of amazing colors and sketches and stories behind the different scenes in the movie. Um, Here's a cool feature here that talked about the scene where Moana was first introduced to the ocean. I thought that was a particularly interesting section that I flagged here, and here's some of the storyboards behind this really pivotal scene in the movie and how this scene came to be, with Moana being introduced to the ocean for the first time as a young child in the beginning of the film. Again, it also talks about Tafiti and how she came to be and how they envisioned her, with when she got the heart back at the end, and how she came to life and bloomed with flowers and plants and trees, and just those big vibrant colors that ended up sort of cascading through the entire world of Moana all the way back to Motunui before she got back there with her parents, seeing the flowers bloom right before their eyes. So again, the Art of Moana, this is part of the Art of books that Disney releases with every animated film. And again, given my recent trip to Aruba and celebrating all things the sea and the ocean and the beauty that is the ocean, I wanted to spend some time talking about the Art of Moana. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back next week for another episode of the Disney Library. Thanks.